How Muhammad Ali trained his mind. Have you ever wondered what made Muhammad Ali truly unbeatable? Was it his fists? His speed? Or his power inside the ring? No, it was his mind. Long before the world called him the greatest, Ali understood a truth that few athletes ever master. The body can only go as far as the mind will push it. And that's why his real training didn't just happen in the gym, it happened in his thoughts. This is the story of how Muhammad Ali trained his mind, and how you can too. Ali used to say, the fight is won or lost far away from witnesses, behind the lines, in the gym, and out there on the road, but the deeper meaning was this: the fight was won inside his head long before he ever stepped into the ring. When Ali trained, his body screamed with pain. His muscles burned. His lungs begged him to stop. But in those moments, he didn't focus on the pain. He focused on the picture of victory. He once said, "I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion." Ali understood something powerful: discipline is remembering what you want most. And every punch, every push-up, every drop of sweat was a vote for the man he wanted to become. Ali didn't just train his muscles. He trained his mouth, and his mouth trained his mind. You've probably heard him shout, "I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was." Why did he do that? Because Ali knew the secret of the subconscious mind: if you repeat something enough, your brain starts to believe it. He used his words like weapons. Every rhyme, every boast, every bold claim wasn't just trash talk. It was programming his brain, and intimidating his opponents at the same time. When Ali said, "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee," he wasn't just being poetic. He was building an identity. An identity so strong that the world, and even his enemies, began to believe it. Muhammad Ali didn't just practice punches. He practiced pictures in his mind. Before every fight, he would visualize the moment of victory. He would see himself raising his hands. He would hear the roar of the crowd. He would imagine the referee lifting his arm. And he would replay that scene again and again until it became his reality. Ali trained his imagination the same way he trained his jab. Because he knew, if you can't see it in your mind, you will never hold it in your hand. This wasn't fantasy. It was mental conditioning. And by the time he walked into the ring, he had already won in his head. That's why he carried himself with unshakable confidence. His opponents saw the fire in his eyes, and many of them were defeated before the first punch was even thrown. Most fighters see pain as the enemy. But Ali flipped the script. When his muscles ached and his lungs burned, he didn't say, "I can't." He said, "This is the price of greatness." One of his most famous lines was this: "I don't count my sit-ups. I only start counting when it starts hurting, because they're the only ones that count." Think about that. He didn't see pain as a signal to stop. He saw it as a signal to grow. Every second of struggle was proof that he was stretching past limits. And that mindset made him unstoppable. Ali's lesson is clear: comfort never made a champion. Pain did. Yes, Muhammad Ali was confident. But make no mistake, he also felt fear. Every great warrior does. The difference? Ali didn't run from fear. He used it. He said, "Fear is what makes a fighter train harder than he ever thought he could. Fear is what pushes a man beyond his limits." Instead of letting fear paralyze him, he let it energize him. Every doubt, every whisper of weakness, became gasoline on the fire of his willpower. Ali's secret was not the absence of fear. It was the mastery of it. Ali understood something most boxers never learned: boxing is not just a physical sport, it's psychological warfare. He would taunt his opponents. He would rhyme about them. He would predict the exact round he would knock them out. At first, it sounded like arrogance. But in truth, it was strategy. By the time the bell rang, his opponents were already second-guessing themselves. They weren't just fighting his fists, they were fighting the storm inside their own minds. Ali said, "I never really knock my opponents out. I knock their minds out." That's the level of psychological power he trained. But let's be honest. The world didn't always believe in Ali. He was doubted. He was criticized. He was even hated. When he refused to fight in the Vietnam War, people called him a traitor. He lost his title. He lost his license to box. He lost millions of dollars. And yet, he never lost his conviction. Ali said, "I don't have to be what you want me to be. I'm free to be who I want." That line shows us the real secret. The greatest fight of all is staying true to yourself when the world tells you not to. Ali's mind was unshakable because his values were unshakable. He didn't train just to win belts. He trained to live with integrity. So what does this mean for you? You may not step into a boxing ring. You may never throw a punch in your life. But you will face battles, in your career, in your relationships, in your dreams. And when those battles come, you have two choices: quit when it hurts, or keep going like Ali. You have two choices: believe the doubts in your head, or reprogram them with words of strength. You have two choices: let fear chain you down, or use fear as fuel. Ali's story isn't just about boxing. It's about life. Because in life, just like in the ring, victory always begins in the mind. Ali's fights ended when the bell rang. But his mindset kept echoing far beyond boxing. He wasn't just the greatest because of his punches. He was the greatest because of his belief. Because of his discipline. Because of his unbreakable spirit. When Parkinson's disease weakened his body, many thought the fire would fade. But Ali's mind stayed strong. He continued to inspire, to speak, to show the world that even when the body slows down, the spirit can still shine. That's the ultimate proof. It was never just about the ring. It was always about the mind. So what about you? Maybe your battle isn't with gloves. Maybe it's with self-doubt. Maybe it's with fear of failure. Maybe it's with people who don't believe in you. Whatever your fight is, remember Ali's secret: train your mind first. The body and life will follow. Tell yourself who you are until you believe it. Visualize the victory until it feels real. Embrace the pain as the cost of growth. And use fear not as a prison, but as power. Muhammad Ali once said, "Champions aren't made in gyms. Champions are made from something they have deep inside them, a desire, a dream, a vision, and that is the legacy he leaves behind." So the question is, will you train your mind the way Ali did? Because if you do, nothing can stop you. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Here we learn, aspire, master, reflect, and evolve together. Until next time, keep fighting your battles, and keep training your mind.